Today we're joined by a drummer, not just any drummer. He is the drummer of one of the biggest bands in South Africa, Prime Circle. Dale Schnettler. How's it going?
I'm well, how are you?
Yeah, good, man.
Thank you for having me today.
Yeah. During Dale's journey with Prime Circle, he was also fighting a fight of alcoholism. But we're going to get into that now with the rest of the episode. This episode is brought to you by Dr. A.C. Lawrence, psychiatrists. Guys, if you're feeling any anxiety, down, depression, just like life's not going your way and you feel like you need to talk to someone, phone Dr. A.C. Lawrence. You can WhatsApp him, you can call him. He will always be there to take your call. It's good to talk mental health matters. You can get hold of him on 072 149 4655. 072 149 4655. Dr. A.C. Lawrence. Mental health matters. How's Prime Circle?
It's great, brother. It's really good. It's amazing. You know, those who don't know, the old singer had left. We got the new singer, Gavin Edwards.
Yes.
And it's been a different journey, but a great different. You know,
Okay.
different. Obviously, Ross will be missed, and he's an amazing.
Yeah, that's been a while now that Ross has left. Has things settled down?
Yeah.
And people have gotten used to Gavin's way and Gavin's style.
Yeah, we still, I still get people coming to me like randomly and go, yo, how's the band going? And I'm going, yo, cool. You know, we got a new singer. And they're like, no, what? And then like still at like, but
Oh, wow. Like, yeah, so
and
people are
it's
still not used to it.
2 years later, yeah. So, I mean, you get people that come and say, yo, it's not the same. And then you get some people that go, they love the new energy, the new sound, you know. So there's haters, there's lovers, there's, you know, we can't please everyone, unfortunately.
Yeah, personally, I'm a Ross fan, but
Yeah.
the new sound is amazing as
Thank
well.
you, thank you.
Yeah, Gavin's done a great job by taking over.
Yeah.
I'm sure it hasn't been an easy journey for him either.
No, yeah. Look,
You know, filling shoes, Ross has got huge shoes to fill.
Of course.
But Gavin is a talented man from the voice, am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
Yeah, so the way you guys found him was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, look, Gavin's got experience. He's got years. He was signed to Brian McFarrell from Westlife. He's toured. He's been on stadium stages. We wanted someone that had experience, you know, not just about the voice. It's about, Gavin's also a 10-year recovering addict. So
Oh, wow,
he's been
okay.
sober 10 years. And
Okay, Gavin's next on the pod.
yeah. And so yeah, he's also, there's a lot of factors to us getting Gavin involved with this whole entity of ours, you know, like not just a friend, I've known Gavin for 20 years. We've known him as a band for many, many years. So yeah, it was more the whole package more than just a vocal. you
That's
know.
awesome. So it's not just a new guy coming into the band.
Yeah.
People, you guys knew him.
Yeah, I mean, we
So
knew
that
guys.
to help the transition, yeah.
Yeah, we knew guys that could pull off a Ross sound alike, you know, because Ross has got an amazing, unique voice. But we didn't want that. If we were going to carry on with the Prime Circle, new singer, new voice. That just, you know.
For sure. Yeah, you want to change.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great that it's going amazing.
Thank you, yeah.
I want to go back to the beginning a bit. How did your journey in drumming happen?
Yes. So I come from a very musical family. My dad was a musician. My mom, sort of a musician. You know, those kind of things. We always had a house full of musical instruments. The only thing we didn't have was drums. And I'm a rebel, and I need to be the naughty kid. I need to. If someone says you can't do it, I'll prove to you I can. You know, that's just my nature. Always been like that. And I want to be a drummer. My dad's like, but we don't have. I've got a bass guitar. I've got a piano. I've got everything else. Guitars. Just play something else. And then, so I loved Tommy Lee from Motley Crue all my life, and I inspired to like be the next Tommy Lee. Then Travis Barker came along, Blink-182, you know.
Yeah,
and those
yeah,
are the
yeah.
kind of guys that I
Your
looked
role
up to.
models.
You're my role models, yeah. And my dad's like, well, we don't have a drum kit. What are you going to do? I said, okay, I'm going to go play in the church band. So I made mates with a friend of mine. His dad was the pastor of the church. And then when they didn't have any events, I could go to the church and I could go practice.
And you taught yourself?
I basically taught myself. Yeah.
Okay.
I used to just watch a lot of drummers. So my dad had his drummer. My brother was in a band. He had his drummer. We had a rehearsal space at the house. So his drummer would leave his drum kit there. So every now and then I would sneak, while my brother's at work and my mom and dad are at work, and like go quickly.
That's awesome.
Drum on the kit. Yeah, it was an amazing journey.
Yeah, you make drumming look easy.
Thank you.
I've tried it and it's not easy. Maybe I've just got no coordination or whatever it is.
It's just lots of practice, lots of. I spent 2 years studying. 2001, I did L&B, but I was so young and still party animal, and so I didn't finish that course. And then 2005, I got another opportunity with a guy called Andre Luke from the Groove Class. And I just thought, let me just, get into it again, study drumming. I actually sat with Johnny Clegg at a casino.
Oh, that must have been amazing.
I was playing poker, and I said, I want to be your drummer one day. And he said, can you play jazz? And I said, no. He says, well, then you can't be my drummer. Oh. So I went to study jazz. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, wow, that's an amazing story. Yeah. And your journey to Prime Circle, how did that start? Where did that come into play?
I guess a funny story is 2001, I sessioned for Corin Zoid.
Okay.
I didn't last long because I was a hooligan. Then I probably did 15 shows with her, and then that ended there. And then I played with a band called Saving Silence, and we used to get all the opening gigs for Prime Circle. And we did about 20 opening gigs. And I always used to say to Ross, I always made a joke. Gerard Venter, who was the first drummer of Prime Circle, he was an amazing drummer, amazing guy. He actually became a good mate of mine, like stuff like that. But I always used to joke with Ross and say, when are you going to get a real drummer? Just that's like planting seeds. That's how I work in life, just planting seeds. And then obviously when Gerard left the band, they gave me a call and said, could I fill in for a couple of gigs? I said, no problem, because now at this time I'm a session player. I'm playing with everyone. I'm in like 10 different bands, playing 7 nights a week. Those kind of, I studied jazz on Monday, Tuesday, doing jazz trios at the casinos, and excuse me. And so basically 2008, the guys phoned me, Marco phoned me and said, look, Gerard's no longer with us. Do you want to come and do a few shows as a session player? And then it just grew from there. And from 2008 up until now, I've been the drummer.
And then Prime Circle obviously hit huge success.
Well, they were already known.
Okay, so the success had already happened.
Yeah. So when they opened up for live, the actual story, what happened was they opened up for live. Next thing, clubs are phoning them. They still guys living in Witbank. Like they, and I think they were with David Gresham at the time as the record label. And now they're getting calls, and they're not running it as a business, but they're gigging everywhere now. All the festivals, everyone wants to book them, blah, blah, blah. And then it only became a proper business. Like the guys are going, whoa, we're working so much. So the guys decided, let's move to Joburg, because to drive an hour and a half.
For sure. 4 times a week on that road.
No,
especially at night.
Yeah. So my actual first edition was driving to Witbank, and I didn't have a license. Oh. So I drove, but I told Marcus, have you got a license? Yeah. You don't drink. I'm like, I got a license, I don't drink. Well, I'm a full-blown, alcoholic. And I'm going, okay, I can do all of this. I'll get there, get to the gig. They say, cool, no problem. And then the following night was my first show in front of 10,000 people at one of the Tucks, the
stadiums or the Razors,
The Rays, whatever they're doing, Okay. And I'm like, I've never played to 10,000 people in my life. So I played the gig, walked off stage. The guy said, welcome to the family. And that's where it started.
Okay. Alcoholic, you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
So obviously, I told you before we started this, addiction has got a special place in my heart. I'm a recovering gambling addict.
Yeah.
6 years clean.
Nice.
Also go to AA meetings, etc.
Yes.
So it means a lot to me. You are 3 days away from 1 year.
Yeah.
From being clean for 1 year.
Yeah.
Happy birthday for Thursday.
Thank you, yeah.
Your alcoholism birthday.
Yes, yeah.
That's amazing.
Then I'm going to drink a lot. No, I'm joking.
Please don't do that.
No.
Not on the 1 year.
No.
Relapses are allowed, but not on the 1 year.
No, yes. I don't think I should even try and relapse.
No, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But that's great, man. 1 year, I remember turning one for my gambling addiction, and you will see that feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm sure we'll get into your journey now, but the people that you let down that are still in your life, you see what it means to them for you being 1 year clean. Yeah, that's really amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
Let's take it back on your journey with alcohol. When did you start drinking? When did you do you remember?
Yeah, look, it started off so my dad was an alcoholic. I mean, he died very young. He died in 2001.
Okay.
Not from alcohol. He had brain cancer of all things.
Okay.
But
sorry about that.
No problem at all. And so he, excuse me, he had a drinking problem, loved his alcohol, was a muso as well, one-man band for many, many, many years. And then I would go out with my older friends at the age of 16, standard 8, I think I was. And then it was like just a weekend thing and you get drunk. And then I used to lie to my parents because I had an eating problem. I used to be skinny. And then I go, oh, no, I didn't eat. And I'm in the bathroom, vomiting. Okay. My mom can smell it, but she's just,
choose to keep it, not to bring it up, rather.
Yeah.
What I don't talk about is not real.
Yeah, it's kind of up. Yeah. So that started off like that. But I wasn't drinking every day. It was just the weekends, going out with my older mates.
So it was party vibes.
Yeah, I had a friend that drove from Joburg, because I come from a small town. He would drive from Joburg to come party with us in the small town. And he would pay for all the drinks, like that kind of. And I was in bands. So like I'm in bands with older oaks. Then at the rehearsals, everyone's drinking. And you just, then I played hockey. I was a provincial hockey player. Okay. So now you win a game or you made a mistake, now you get a penalty. When you want to be under 21 or whatever, and you're 15, 16 years old, you still got to drink with the big boys.
No, for sure. And then you get fines.
All the fines, that funnels. And
for sure.
So it started off there. Then I started doing cover bands. And then, you have your 3 or 4 brandies or whatever. I'm a brandy drinker and or was a brand. And then playing the cover gigs, and you drink and you get fraught, and so it's only weekend. And then when I started with Prime Circle, I wasn't a big drinker, but the guys were scared because I used to act like Tommy Lee. Okay. I used to take a bottle of Jack Daniels on stage and drink, but I'm sweating it off, so it's not like
you're not making your name ass.
Yeah. And I've got my shirt off and I'm full of tattoos and I'm like, yeah. Right. So the guys were worried about that. They wanted
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah. Except I was in a cover band. And I was married. So, like whatever. But, so it was more like that, gigs, bras, going out with mates. I wasn't really an alcoholic. I was more of a party drinker, you know what I'm saying? So if I didn't drink on a Monday, Tuesday, maybe go out on a Wednesday, have 5 brandies or whatever the case is. Start off like that. And then myself and I've been married twice. So my first wife, we didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. Then I got married to an amazing, incredible woman, beautiful, everything going for her. Just can't fault anything on this woman kind of thing. And for 2 years, she warned me, because now I'm drinking every day. And I'm like pissed from 8 in the morning, but I'm a functioning alcoholic.
Are you waking up pouring the drink, or?
Well, I would always have a 6-pack of Coronas.
Okay.
So that would be like my babalas cure. Okay. But I got to a point, I think for about 5 years, I didn't have babalas. Okay. And the older I'm getting, it's coming back, and that kind of thing. But I was basically drinking a bottle and a half of brandy a day. Then I was spending between 8 and 12 grand a month on booze. Like, where that money came from, but when you have addiction, you find it. Like, that's the scary part. And so my ex-wife warned me. She said for 2 years, and I tried. I had a battle. I lied to the band for many years, saying, no, I'm not drinking. Meanwhile, I'm pissed. Keeping booze in my backpack, and going to the car drinking. And I even drove to Durban one time with a sports bottle, wait for everyone to fall asleep, and I'm doping with my mints, and then someone wakes up, chow mints, so they can't smell the booze,
Sure. Okay.
Or they think I'm just smelling of booze from the night before. Like stupid things, like taking risks, crashing, like just stupid. I played with fate a lot, my guardian
as an
angel.
addict does.
Yeah, and so basically the 28th of this month, a year ago, I laid in my bed, and I have a lady that manages my life, a best friend, and really amazing person. And I phoned her and I said, listen, yeah, I got a feeling I'm going to die today. This is after a 7-day binge. And I did a lot of those. I loved doing, like, I'd sleep in my car, wait for the pub to open up again. And my ex-wife thinking I'm having an affair, or meanwhile, I'm not. I just want to put booze in my,
you are having an affair with alcohol.
Yeah, well, I played a lot of golf just so I could drink.
Okay.
I hated golf. I was so
But
crappy.
it was an excuse to drink.
But it was an excuse, yeah. And I've got all my mates buying anyway. So, it's just like I buy a round, you buy a round, we all buy, and that became, so when I stopped drinking a year ago, I stopped playing golf, sold all my golf stuff. I just decided, I've got to walk away from anything that's going to be how do I put it, like a threat to this situation I'm in, kind of thing.
For sure.
So, I mean, I stopped hanging out with certain mates, and not that we're not friends anymore. It was just, I can't be there and not drink, but I still play in pubs and clubs, and I started my DJ career now, and I'm in clubs till 4 a.m,
For sure.
but sober. And I feel like this might sound funny, but I feel like God gave me a journey being sober, and that was to heal others, because I've got people constantly coming to me and going, they want to talk to me in this environment, and I'm like, bro, I'm just here to DJ, man, but
For sure.
talk if you because we all need to talk. I don't care what anyone
Starts
says.
with talking.
Like he's talking about the doctor, if you need help.
Go see a
like I didn't
psychiatrist.
believe in psychiatry. So my drinking started because my dad was a hard person. He was a narcissist as a person, great human being, great man, talented muso, but he was a narcissist, and he spoke to us very ugly, like our whole life. My brother left home when he was 16. Like he just, I couldn't wait to get out of the house. It was just a physically abusive human being,
Alcohol became the coping mechanism.
That's the thing. And in a way, I think I was a narcissist. I became, like, people started calling me my dad's name, Kevin, because I became this ugly
Manipulator, narcissist,
Yeah, like
all of the above. Yeah.
Yeah, and I treated my ex-wife like that, and I treated friends like that, and the band can vibe. Like, I used to send them messages going, "Go F yourselves, all you mother," long messages like, "I hate you guys." But I'm taking out childhood trauma, let's call it, on these guys that have done nothing wrong to me. They gave me an opportunity to play in this beautiful entity, make music for a living, which I've done all my life, and just a nicer living. I get to see the world, like kind of thing.
How did traveling with the band and stuff affect you? I mean, we all look at a muso and go, wow, what a life. He travels, he's this, he's at all the parties, all the hot chicks, and it looks like this great party and everything. But is it really?
No. So the thing is, Prime Circle's a clean band. We all been involved, long-term relationship band. We're not in for the sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Okay.
I was probably the most rock and roll guy in the band. Like that's kind of like the... but the guys don't generally drink a lot. The guys, like, drinking, obviously, you have 1 or 2, 3 brandies before you get on stage, just calm your nerves a little bit. I actually that's a new addiction for me. Is I thrive on nerves. Like even when I'm DJing, like I get nervous.
You've channeled it to the correct way.
Yeah, I thrive for that. It's like that drug.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, the adrenaline, and I love it. And then by the 3rd song, it's gone, and I'm like, no, man. Come back. Then I'm like, let me challenge quickly myself. Let me play like a song I've never played before. Let's see if I can get it in the
It's
decks.
DJ Pavarotti's song.
Just so I can get nerves again, kind of a. And I think, like, for me, I've always been a sweetaholic, so I eat a lot of sweets. But since I stopped drinking sweets, I can't tell you, man.
I know the feeling.
I eat so much sweets. It's like, that's crazy. But
Back to the lady that saved your life. What's her name?
Vicky Kruger.
Vicky Kruger.
Yes. Vicky Lee Kruger.
Let's talk a little bit about Vicky and what happened then. And so you gave Vicky a call and you said, Vicky, I'm going to die.
Yeah. So
I've just come off a 7-day binge.
yeah.
Obviously, depression's now kicking in.
So she was.
You didn't
worried.
use substances, eh?
No, never did
Okay,
any
so there
drugs.
was no cocaine.
I smoked a lot of weed.
Okay.
Like, that was like when I was trying to stop drinking, I thought, hey.
The guys smoke the weed to get sober, eh? Or to take the hangover away?
No, I
Okay.
smoked it not to drink. So I would be like, because I used to get so pissed and then get home and then light a joint.
Okay.
And then you mess yourself up even more. Now you
Okay.
feel even worse the next day kind of up.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, put booze away. Then I'll do 5 days smoking weed. I just needed to be high or
Okay.
numb or whatever you call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, I don't really like the weed. I was living in a small apartment. I was smoking out the whole
block.
the whole block. People complaining, going like, "Dale, like this is like it was like a classy establishment in Melrose," and I'm like, I'm the only one like,
For sure,
like
yeah.
it was bad. But then I thought, okay, I'm not a weed smoker. I even got implant dreadlocks, went through the whole.
Oh, wow. You became Jamaican.
Yeah, and it worked, bro. Like
Bob Marley.
like I'm on the plane flying back from Dubai, and I've got 2 women next to me. I'm healing them. I'm like, they're like, this one's telling me she's going through a divorce. This one's father's in hospital, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, and I became like, my mates called me Dr. Schnettler, helping married women get back into their. I was playing with fire, put it that way,
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not a qualified psychiatrist, so why am I helping
sure.
others when I can't even help myself?
For sure. Well, I've learned with myself, us addicts love to give advice, but we should actually take our own advice that we're giving people.
Yeah, of course.
I have learned that along the way. Okay, back to Vicky Kruger.
So
I'm also jumping.
I got bad ADHD.
We need to give it, we're in the same room together.
Yes. Vicky, I met her on Facebook about, ironically, tattoos. So I was sponsored at that time by a guy called Jeff Squires, who's also a recovering drug addict. And he said, but if you can help me with one thing is go onto Facebook, find people with tattoos, and Vicky's got she's got quite a lot of tattoos. And I went and guys, girls, and everyone, I said, if you are looking for a tattoo artist, please give Jeff Squires, a phone call and blah, blah. And Vicky's like, you won't believe me, but Jeff Squires is my tattoo artist. And then we got chatting, and that's, then I said, let's meet up. She wants to manage bands. And so I said, well, help me out with my finances, help me out with managing me, do a couple of books. And we just became really good mates. And I put that woman through so much trouble because I used to drink every day. She didn't know if I was at home. She didn't know.
And she's trying to manage your career.
And she's now also not used to this 3-day. So I disappear for 3 days. No one knows.
Cell phone's off.
My phone's died. Like, it's not even that it's off. It's just.
And zero fucks are given.
No, I want to. And I'm not with a woman. I'm not with mates. I'm by myself waiting for the pub to open up. I'm parked outside in either Hog's Head or any of these bars. I mean, the one night I passed out in the pizza, there was an entrance at Hog's Head, the pizza place. I can't even remember the name of the pizza place, but I literally slept there because I was too drunk to get to my car. As they opened their doors, went straight to the bar, drank. But I was more of a homely drinker. Only when my ex-wife left me, then I was going out a lot.
For sure.
But I took a lot of advantage of her, not in ugly ways. I never cheated. I'm not a cheater. But just always being drunk, playing golf, getting into bed, smelling of cigarettes, smelling of booze, sweat, after a gig, I'm too drunk to shower. So now, or if I was showering, it was me showering in the shower.
For sure, yeah.
And putting her through 9 years of that, it's not.
No.
It's unfair.
No, it's definitely unfair what we do to our loved ones.
Yeah.
And then after opening up to Vicky and saying, I need help, what happened then? What did Vicky do? What did you do?
She gave me a psychologist. I'm lying to you. A lady by the name of Bernadette. She said, I must go see this lady. talked to her. At this stage, I just met the girlfriend that I'm currently with. She's a tattoo artist. And I said, Lizzie, I'm going to counseling because there's still something wrong here. Like, I can't stop drinking. And my my current girlfriend's father also likes his pot, and he's drinking. And she's like, I will not be involved with a drinker. I'm sorry. So a lot of ways, my girlfriend saved me because that's going through my mind the whole time. Her. And I'm also going, like, I don't want to be that person. So anyway, Vicky sends me to this Bernadette lady. I went for like 7 or 8 sessions with her, and she put me in Hill group with a guy, Neil, who runs, he's like the guy who runs the Hill group in Edenvale.
What is the Hill group?
Hill group's like a bunch of people every Tuesday gets together. They do online as well. And we all sit in a round circle and we all talk about addiction. Some guys relapse, some guys, then we all get to cuck out these people. We're like, each person has their turn to talk. It might not happen every Tuesday, not everyone, but sometimes one guy just needs to take that whole 2 hours.
Everyone alcoholics in this group?
Anything.
Okay, so all type of addictions, gambling, drugs.
Heroin addict, guy that's overdosed 9 times on heroin. Sure. We've got gambling, prostitution, strippers, ex-strippers, girls that were raped by their father, like stuff. Like there's a lot to whatever's said there, it stays there.
And then anonymity, my favorite word.
Yeah, that's a big word for me.
I can't say that word either, don't stress.
So I put Vicky through a lot of how she would come with me to the gigs, and then I'm like, we're going out, and then we're going out, and then like I'm making her drunk and making her an alcoholic. She was never, but now she's partying more than she
normally would
have,
and it's starting to affect her life.
Yeah,
well.
And then it's me driving it home, not asleep in the car because I'm too drunk to even walk up to my apartment. How I got home, I've slept outside of clubs. Yeah, stupid, man.
You said it's the Hill group, eh?
Hil group,
okay.
Yes.
Walking into the Hill group and your first meeting, how did that feel?
So Vicky informed them about me,
And at this stage, you now Prime Circle's crazy famous. You the drummer.
So no, this stage.
This was a year ago.
Yeah, Ross had left the band a year prior. No, not quite a year prior to that. I was kind of heartbroken about that. He was my best mate. Like we hang.
Was it tough? It was tough.
Yeah, it was like a bad marriage, kind of thing. Not that I have animosity against him or I don't hate him in any manner. I wish only the best. If anyone asks me, I go, the guy's talented. He's got one of the best vocals in the world, in my opinion. I wish only the best for him. But I was heartbroken about this whole thing. I was also an angry muser, and I was also like, I'm leaving the band. No, this, if that, we were sitting and drunk together. Now, he had already been clean off the booze maybe 2 years prior to that. Now, it's selfish. Now, I'm an alcoholic. I'm messing up on stage. I mean, I didn't even make a few gigs because I was too drunk to even play. And there's like thousands of people in the crowd. It's selfish. I like these people paying to pay my bills every month. And I'm taking advantage, kind of thing. So I started off there being angry at the world because of that. Ross leaving the band. Then my ex-wife decides to leave me, which I was warned 2 years. She said, I'm going to divorce you. Sober up. I'm going to divorce you.
Carry on, yeah.
As one does, you'll never leave me. Everyone's like, no, she loves you too much. She'll never leave you. Don't worry. Choose Bob. Amazing divorce, by the way. Like, we didn't fight, went into court, got a sheriff to stamp and sign. A couple of weeks later, we officially divorced. Like I said, she's an amazing woman. I can't fault her on anything. I just took advantage with my good old friend, Mr. Brandy.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of where Vicky's been in my life. She's actually currently dating a band member that I do cover gigs as well on the sideline. And she's dating one of my bandmates. Very happy with him, and I'm very happy for her.
Okay. Yeah. So we walk into Hill. We obviously got nerves.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're going to say. We don't know who the people are.
Yeah. Something that I don't really want to mention, but I think I must mention is I went through a bit of a hoe phase after my ex-wife had left me, and I thought, F everyone. And I just went through a bit of a hoe phase. And Vicky stood through all of that, like going, yes, dude, you need to calm
Vicky
down.
needs to be on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't want to hear her story, her side of it, you know. And you know, I actually got a scare, a big scare, because, and I think what happened was, my psychologist sent me to a psychiatrist and said, you need to go into medicine. And I was on antidepressants for many years, but I drank so much booze that I think those antidepressants just didn't help nothing.
They fought each other.
Yeah. And I just cold turkey that. I said, nah, I don't want medicine. I don't want anything. Like, if I'm lost, I'm lost. You know, like nothing's going to help me, blah, blah. So I haven't done like any depressant or any pills for a while. That was the struggle of the alcohol as well. But anyway, as I lost my train of thought now, we're talking about
the Hill group going into the Hill for the first time, the host stage.
Yeah. So obviously they know, Vicky's informed them all about this. Neil, the leader, he's going, Cadell's got a bit of a sex problem and a bit of an alcohol problem.
Okay.
And he's coming to Hill group because he wants to get off of it.
So there's some cross addiction going on.
Yeah, you know, and I know I want to sober up, but what got to me, what woke me up the most was I actually thought I was dead. 2 days from today, a year ago, I actually thought it was on just off a 7-day binge. And I thought I was dead. That's when I phoned Vicky. I said, listen, you need to just check up on me. Am I going to just give me a call in like an hour? I just want to make sure I'm alive still. You know, when you haven't slept, you slept maybe 5 hours in 7 days, you know,
Yes.
with no drugs. I didn't do drugs. This is just because with booze, I can't sleep. I mean, it makes me pass out, but then it's 2 hour, I'm back up again, you know, kind of thing.
And you revitalized almost.
Yeah. So I went to the psychiatrist, actually across the road from Bernadette, and she said, we're going to take you to APATH. I need to check she checked my blood pressure and I'm 100% fine. We need to check your liver. We need to check your kidneys. We need to check you got no STDs, AIDS, like all of these tests. And I'd met my girlfriend at this time. So I also said to her, look, we're not going to do any nasty business until I know. I told her, look, I went through a bit of a phase. I just want you to know, like, I was angry at the world and blah, blah, blah. Sure. And out of respect, and then the psychiatrist phones me and says, Dale, are you sitting down? I'm going, oh, God, this is like bad. And she says, there's nothing wrong with you. I said, I think you got the wrong test. She said, no.
But also, how do you start that phone call though? You're sitting down.
Yeah.
Like obviously we expect the worst when we hear something like that.
I'm sitting in my office chair and I look up to the big man himself and I go, God, thank you. Like, and I cried. Like, I'm a guy that doesn't cry. Like, I haven't cried. I've maybe cried 4 times my whole life. I came from very hard, you know, background, you know. And I just cried. I just went, Father God. And today I pray every morning, every night, before I get on stage, before I DJ.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, this year's been a tough journey, not in addiction wise. Like, I decided I've got a very strong willpower.
Did you go cold turkey, yeah?
Cold turkey, yeah.
Cold turkey, okay.
But remember, I did try and stop for 2 years prior to that. So I'd do like 5 days with no booze, but smoke weed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like.
For sure.
And then
but when on the 28th, that was it. Cold turkey, no relapses in between this year.
I prayed to God, and that day I prayed to God and I said, give me one more chance. I won't disappoint you. In my head, I just had that feeling I was going to die. I just knew I was going to die. I don't know, can't explain it. And I don't know if people believe in guardian angels, but that day I felt my guardian angel had left the room. I cannot anymore. I cannot. The amount of times.
They couldn't tolerate you either.
No, yeah. The amount of times I just took advantage of being drunk and doing stupid things. And it's unbelievable. Like I'm actually embarrassed on myself for how I didn't kill myself, how I didn't kill anyone else in the process of being drunk, you know, stupid things. Just bad. Like, you know.
Were there any suicide thoughts?
I tried to take my life once before, but remember, alcohol, when you at that point of your life, it's a slow death. you're taking your life slowly.
In any way,
So I was basically on a 9-year suicide mission because I didn't give a fuck. Sorry, my language.
Don't worry about language. Just open
I
the room.
I honestly didn't give a continental, F. I was just like, and the ironic thing is I had this incredible wife. Something that people don't really know that happened to me is I had a son, and in 2001, he had a sex change. And I couldn't accept this. And it was a big thing. And that just drew me to even drinking more. So I lost a son, theoretically, if that makes sense. So that broke me even to the next level because I can't accept it. Like, I don't mind he was gay and I didn't mind that. I don't mind if people are gay, bisexual, trisexual. My dad always used to say, I'm trisexual, I'll try her, and her.
No, for sure.
But he didn't actually say that. I just made that up. But it's just kind of like, I needed to wake up. I needed to, everyone said Dale will not, they said to Vicky, don't even try help the guy. He will not quit. That a guy like that will never stop drinking. And
Vicky didn't give up.
No, she was just like, and we got tattoos 2 days ago.
I saw that on Instagram, yes.
Matching tattoos. And it was more, like you could explain that to your girlfriend and she's going to explain to her boyfriend. Luckily, I know her boyfriend for like 25 years.
Yeah.
But that day, we said, when I stopped drinking, I said, listen, in a year's time, if I've conquered this addiction, we'll get the same. And it's a little skeleton with a music note on it. Okay. And that's the reason why I did it. Yeah.
Why a skeleton? What do you...
Because that was my death.
Okay.
That was my...
Okay, I'm with you now.
I might die on the way home now in a car accident, but at least I didn't die from alcohol.
For sure.
And I can tell you now, I was on that dying bed. How I was healthy, that I cannot question. I mean, and I was a workaholic. So I was in studio writing, recording. I just needed to be busy, taking advantage of not seeing my family and stupid things, and I've got such a bad OCD, ADHD, that everything needs to be perfect. And now that I don't drink, I'm not too fazed anymore. I don't do studio anymore. I kind of relax more often. I can't watch a movie because of my ADHD.
Yeah, for sure.
I watch like 5 minutes and then I got to go to the kitchen. Then I got to where drinking was my numbing. Then I could sit and actually watch a movie because now I'm doing something. It sounds weird, but all it is a numbing. It's a numbing cream.
To cope with life.
Yeah,
that's why I don't actually like the word addict.
Yeah,
because I don't believe me and you are addicts. Yeah. We're humans.
Yeah.
And we just find something to cope with.
Of course.
Okay, so you got these matching tattoos with Vicky. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm now thinking and I don't know Vicky. I've never met Vicky.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't even looked her up or anything. But your journey must have been so important to her to get this matching tattoo. Yeah. That's amazing.
Look, it was remember, she met me at my worst. So I was like, I was a really bad drinker. Put it that way. I drank anything and everything. Even in lockdown, I was drinking even. I think everyone drank even more because now you can't have it.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there, like kind of a vibe. And I had a lot of booze in lockdown, so I was like, and I drank a lot of whiskey, ironically, because I'm trying to get out of the Coke, not cocaine, Coca-Cola. And drinking whiskey and water. But now the whiskey is making me piss too quickly because now, you're basically drinking it clean.
For sure.
The water's
on the
just
rocks,
so you can sip it nicely, and you're drinking it like a brandy. So now the next thing you look and you're like, at least the brandy I was mixing with Coke, kind of thing.
For sure.
But talking about the suicidal thing, I sat in my studio one day and I took a bottle of brandy, like a liter, and I drank it clean. Now, anyone that's drank alcohol, it's literally impossible to swig a bottle clean. Like it's literally impossible.
Sorry.
And ironically, Ross had written a song, and the lyrics started with "The view from here is everlasting. Catch me if I fall." I produced this thing so beautiful, as if it was his like suicide note. I'm not saying it was. He didn't tell me anything. I'm just
For
saying,
sure. Yeah, yeah.
But if I listen to the lyrics, I'm going, and it was such a beautiful song. And now I'm also like peed off at him. He's left the band. Things aren't looking great with me and the wife, you know, or the ex-wife. My son had this thing happen to him, and I'm going, yeah,
Life's a fuck up.
you know, I'm too much of a coward to shoot myself or hang myself or drown myself. But I like alcohol, so and I took this bottle of brandy, downed this whole thing, and next thing I look around me, how there was no Coke, but my whole studio floor is just full of black water. Where that Coke, whether it's Coke or it's my insides, or I don't know what it was.
But that's what you're seeing.
But I just remember sitting, waking up. I don't remember vomiting. I don't remember. I remember like halfway the bottle. And that's it. And then waking up, sitting on my studio floor with all this liquid, black liquid around me. Like, and I just thought, well, if that's not going to kill me, you know, and then I carried on drinking. And then I'm bubble. Like, I think I had a 7-day bubble-less after that. I'd like, but
you didn't land up in hospital?
Luckily not.
Okay.
I have been in hospital for drips.
Okay, glucose drips.
Because of too much alcohol. But yeah, it was I never thought I had a problem. When you have an addiction, you don't think it's a problem. People are telling you, buddy, you have addiction. You're messing up.
And you're lying to yourself. You're saying it's not a problem.
No, I don't have a problem.
Well,
no.
today's my last one.
I never was like that. I never wanted to quit.
Okay.
I loved it so much. I quit because I know I'm going to end up killing myself on it. You know what I'm saying? But if I smell brandy, it's like baby's milk. It's a medicine for me.
So getting sober is not easy, as you know.
I beg to differ, and I tell you why. I think I drank so much that it was just a thing that going, you know what, I was stupid. I wasted so much money on crap that I could have had nicer things in my life.
Okay, so there wasn't a moment in time now in your last year that you felt this is hard. I want to go back to booze, like, because in my case, as a gambling addict, I feel there's always this little man in my head, and I've got to squash that little man. And if I don't squash that little man, he's going to grow and grow and grow, and I'm going to end up relapsing.
Yeah.
And there's people around me that talk about gambling. You, in your case, you go into the pubs.
Yeah.
You are around people that are drinking all, and you're there for work.
Yeah.
And people are offering you shooters. They don't know about you. But I mean, you can't blame someone for going, here's a tequila, and they don't know about your journey. Yeah. And you're like, I don't drink. Well, just have one, have one.
Yeah.
And you've got to say no. So those type of things must have been hard in the beginning.
So it was, because obviously, like, you know, with the new Prime Circle, we do like 4 to 5, 6 shows a month. So I've got lots of weekends open kind of vibe. So I put together a couple of cover bands. I just want to play music. I love music so much. And the beginning days, like, not all my local places I play, everyone knows he doesn't drink. So don't even, I remember finishing gigs when I used to drink, and I had like 14, 15 brandies behind me that I hadn't got to yet. And I'll sit afterwards, and it's free. Everyone's buying me dogs.
Sure, yeah.
Now that doesn't happen. The tequilas that were going in between, you know, cool.
In between sets or songs.
Yeah, you know. And the ironic thing is, I'm not a big guy, but I'd drink anyone. Like, that was when I realized that, like, I'm drinking at my own house, dropping off my mates at their houses because they're too drunk to drive. Like, I'm going, this is not right. These oaks are fraud. I'm still, half focusing, or think I'm focusing, you know. But the worst thing for me was the blackouts. The last maybe 3 years of the drinking heavily, I started blacking out.
Okay, well, you don't remember the night before, of blacking out.
Yeah, and it's one of those where I phoned the guy, I said, or my mate that I was drinking with, and I go, did I embarrass myself? No, you were fine when you left. You were fine. I still asked you, are you okay to, and you're like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I don't remember even saying that. I don't remember what we drank. So it got to that point where for 3 years, I was blanking out. Like just, then waking up going, what the hell did I do last night? What did I hope I haven't done anything wrong, or, and then that's also became that reality of going, this could be a problem, man. This could be, or did I fight with my wife last night? And I'm thinking, and I give her a morning kiss, hello, my babes. And then she's like,
Yeah, you're not
like,
sure,
okay,
or you're not
I
sure
must
what
have had
happened.
a fight last night,
Yeah.
And that's where my narcissism, it took me a long time to realize that I don't want to be that person. And I don't think my ex-wife will ever watch this podcast, but if she ever did come across or see this, I just want to say I'm sorry. Like that,
That's amazing. I've got goosebumps right now.
Yeah, I'm emotional, but it's just.
Thanks for being so vulnerable.
It's more. I put her through hell, and I will never do that to my current girlfriend. I'll never. That's that.
Don't stress.
That's someone SMSing me. No, but it's not live. But yeah, so yeah, I did a lot of ugly things. I wouldn't say evil things, but I did a lot of ugly things, and I regret doing them. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And one thing, I obviously went to Gamblers Anonymous, where there's only gamblers. We had other rooms next to us, but we all live by the same principles. When we were
addiction.
In recovery, we all live by the same principles. Addiction is all the same. We do the same things. We manipulate the same way.
And we're good at it.
And we fucking the best salespeople ever.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier. How did I get that money? I don't know.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
Yeah.
In my case, I even was selling things, etc., to get the money to gamble. But
I got to a point where you have a bring and bribe, but bring an extra bottle.
Okay. Your entry fee is a bottle of brandy.
No, it wasn't like that.
No, like in a joking way.
But when you go with something to a braai, you never, unless you come with a cooler box. But
you don't take it back with you. No, you leave it there.
Then I have a braai with 15 people.
And you actually get more booze than what you started with.
Yeah, that's my week's booze for the...
For sure.
For the week,
Yeah, and that's how good you become as a manipulator.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I learned, and I want to see if you've channeled this, by saying sorry to your ex-wife for now. Like, make amends with the people that you've done wrong.
Yeah, which I have.
Okay, so you've gone down that road.
I have.
And that road's also not easy.
Yeah.
Because some people don't accept that. And that is their problem. You've now said sorry. If they don't accept your apology, it is what it is. You got to move on and feel, I've apologized, I've made amends,
and I'm
etc.
sincere about it. I'm honestly,
For sure.
genuinely.
And not everyone's going to accept your apology.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gone down that road, etc. The Yale group obviously assisted with those steps, the 12-step program. I'm sure you guys...
So I didn't go into the whole rehab the way that the rehab would have run
traditional rehab point.
The traditional point. Like for me, I have an extremely strong willpower. So and everyone would say to me, dude, if you wanted to become a brain surgeon, you'd be a brain surgeon. Like that's just like I bought DJ decks, and 3 days later posted me DJ, and some DJs were telling me like, dude, how
did you learn that? How did you learn to mix?
Dude, I filmed that on the same day I got them. I just posted it 3 days later. So I probably was sitting with
music
him for
talent
like an hour.
Music talent.
I don't know if that is maybe a talent or just the way my brain functions. Because I remember I've already done YouTube. I'm like learning before I even got anything. I want to know why is this guy such a good swimmer? Like, I'm just giving an example. But like, what is he doing different to your other Olympic swimmers or whatever the case is? And I need to know. Now I want to be that. You know what I'm getting at?
Yes.
I follow his trend, like that.
You look at the metrics, you look at everything, and you figure it out.
Yeah, even with my DJing now, like I'm hanging, well, I'm ghosting, I'm shadowing. I keep on saying ghosting. I'm shadowing a guy called Byron from Essential Grooves. He's become like a very good mate of mine. And I go and watch him at shows. He's honestly, to me...
Just to learn.
Yeah, but he's still an old school DJ. He beat matches still. He doesn't go and look... oh, the song's at this tempo. He's listening, and he's like I don't think he's even looked to see what the tempo is.
Awesome.
And to do that in this stone age or this age, or I don't know what you would say, but like it's brilliant. Like nowadays on your decks, you can sync your beats. You've even got key sync now to
it's
sync
actually
your songs.
easy.
No, you can even go quantize and mix it for you.
Yeah.
There's actually a button that you can. Yeah, it's insane.
So willpower allows you to learn that stuff. Willpower allows you to willpower got you to the 28th, which is on Thursday.
Yes.
Is it Thursday? Yeah.
Thursday, yes.
No, wait, 26. Yes. Wait,
no, it's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, willpower got you to this day.
Definitely.
And just your personality.
Yeah.
I battle with ADHD. My son battles with ADHD.
Yeah.
And I tell him often, my 13-year-old son, Lagan, it is a superpower, actually.
No, it's amazing.
You just got to know, and it looks like you figured that out. That's why I bring it up. You just got to know how to channel your ADHD. Yeah. You've now learned to DJ. Yeah. You can play other instruments, and we've got a surprise coming up for you soon. Yeah. But you don't only play the drums, and that's what ADHD has allowed you to channel that.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's allowed you to have the willpower.
Yeah.
To be a year and a clean, sober, no drinking.
And that's genuinely like the lying I did to the band. I mean, I apologize to all the guys. I mean, I was, like I said, hiding the booze. The guys were like,
we knew. They actually knew about it.
They must have, Yeah. And I remember actually one day Ross came to me after a gig and says, dude, you play so much better when you're sober. I was so pissed.
And I love that you just said that, because my next question to you was, have you found in the last year of your life being sober that there's been more opportunities that have come into your life?
It's been a challenge. I'm not going to lie. It's been I've given myself to the big man, and he's definitely put me in a lot of challenging sequences. Remember, it sounds weird, but I'm the only sober one in the room, and then I have all these people that they pissed or they're on coke or they whatever the case, and they want to talk to me like, how did you do this? What are you doing? And I'm becoming like a healer. And yesterday I spent some time with I had lunch with a good mate of mine, and he said, remember, you now in the devil's territory now. Yeah, he's controlling those people. Now you coming in and you guiding them. I'm not a churchgoer. I don't read the Bible, but I believe heavily in the big man. And now you're taking his people and you're trying to sober them up. But my question is, my answer is, not my question, my answer is, if you don't want to do it yourself, you're not going to do it.
For sure.
You can't have me tell you,
no one's going to force you.
It's so bad for you. You're going to flip. You're going to fail. I don't care what anyone says. If you're not willing to do it, in your own mind, it's not going to happen. You can go to all the psychology, all the psychiatry. It helps. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful that I went to that. And Heal Group helps, because do you know how it helped me is I thought I was lost. I thought I went through crap. Yes, that I went through.
For sure.
Wow,
and I saw that in my own journey.
Yeah.
There are people battling much worse than you.
Yeah.
And it's actually a very fucked up thing to say, because that actually helps you in your journey.
No, it is.
Like, it gives you hope.
It is.
Like, if that guy's got hope and he's going through that, I've got hope. There's hope for me.
Yeah.
And that's why you go sit in the rooms.
But the thing is, I always say, like, you can say 6 years of being a non-gambler, that to me is a proper recovery. Me, I'm just a year. Like, do you know what I'm getting at? Like,
and let me tell you from my side, Dale, right? 6 years, you say that's a proper recovery.
Yeah, it's still...
But I can relapse tomorrow.
Of course, anyone can.
I have the thoughts come to me.
Yeah.
I'm so scared to relapse.
But you know what I think, and I'm not a qualified person, but I think you were so good at gambling that it became... I don't know if it was the actual gambling. I think it was the fact that you can win.
Yeah.
There
was much more to the actual game. It actually, maybe it started out with winning 1,000 Rand or winning 10,000 Rand, whatever it is. The amount doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But maybe it started out with that, but there was much more to it.
Because you're getting good at it.
Yeah.
And it's something you're good at now. And
And I'll tell you a funny story that you say that. Like, I realized with my journey with psychologists or whatever it is, I actually realized that I craved losing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the winning feeling that you ended up craving. You ended up being okay to lose.
Yeah.
So I would lose an X amount of money, but it would be okay. Because that still gave a feeling to me. Same as a hangover. In your case, a hangover is a feeling. And that's a feeling you crave. You crave the hangover feeling. Drug addicts, guys that are coming down on coke or whatever drug they're on, ecstasy, whatever it is.
It becomes a norm.
They crave the feeling of coming down.
And
that's when the trouble starts.
And I agree with that. I agree 100%. For me, like, my journey now is I want to help people. Everyone says I should be like a spokesperson.
You should. Let this podcast be the start of it. Go to more podcasts.
But I don't want to do it after a year. If I can say 5 years,
I'm with you.
I can go, listen, look, you were asking me about temptation, right? You're saying something I do miss, and I'm very fortunate. Like, my girlfriend, she doesn't really drink. She's focused. Her son has cystic fibrosis, so she's constant. She's a great mother. She's always there for him. She works from home.
So she needs to be sober in any way.
So and I respect that. And she also doesn't do it because she's respecting me on top of that. And it's a big respect factor. It's a massive. But something I do miss is having a glass of wine for dinner, romantic
the social
night.
aspect of it. Because let's be honest, drinking is a social thing. And it brings people together.
I don't have that problem.
No, but it brings people together.
I say it as
it brings people together.
Of course.
And I'm sure you've lost friends because you don't drink anymore, because now they're not inviting you to the pub anymore. They're not inviting you to the restaurant anymore,
or the prize
or whatever, because you don't drink. I'm sure people have told you, Dale, you've become boring, etc.
See, I haven't become boring. I'm actually more energetic, more outgoing.
Well,
like,
awesome.
I don't need booze to
have fun.
To have fun. Like, people ask me, what drugs are you on? I'm like, I'm on like life, oxygen. That's my,
that's amazing. You got a second chance.
I did.
Dale, musicians out there, younger musicians, some of these guys could be battling with the same thing, because it is the industry. You are in the pubs, and that's where you're making your money, playing the gigs. Advice for them, bud, that could be battling with the same thing.
So and I'm not going to mention names, but I'm mates with a lot of musicians that are in the cover scene industry, and I watch, even playing with them in the cover bands, I watch them, and they know, if you're watching this, they know who I'm talking about. But they have drinking problems, and for me, like, the one guy is a brother to me. Again, he's going to know who if he watches this. But his now excuse is he just wants to go play music just so he can drink. That's what I did with the golf. Because I knew it was easy. I can drink 18 brandies on 18 holes and still drink. I would have 4 or 5 brandies before I even start. And then still drink throughout the night.
You would start lit.
And then I'd tell the bar, the waiter, bring us a couple of brandy specials. They close the doors. And then me and my mates are still sitting outside the clubhouse doping, but it's closed. Everyone's left. We're the only people there. They've even switched off the lights. It's like we just seeing the parking lights for years and years and years. And that, because I didn't want to go home. I didn't, even though I was a home drink, like I say, I love drinking at home. When I was at home, I'm home. But if I'm out, I'm out. Even today, like, I battle to still leave places. I don't know.
So you're seeing all of this in your friends now? I don't mean your general friends, but you're seeing this in people that are close to you. So advice you can give, and someone might be listening to this who's a young muso, he's coming up. What would you say to him? Like,
I think,
where does he start?
I don't have the right answer to that. Like, I just think, like I say to these guys, you got families, you got beautiful. I don't have a family. I don't have, for me, I got nothing to lose, really, theoretically. But these guys have got kids. They've got wives. Do you know what I'm getting at? For me, if you're willing to fuck that up, carry on. Do it yourself. If you want to learn it the hard way, do it. Cool. But then don't go, no one will try to warn me.
Because you're going to fucking lose your family.
Yeah.
Simple.
And whether it's a divorce and the wife's like, or whether you driving drunk with your family in the car and you kill one of the kids, or your wife and the kids grow up without a mother. What?
Then it's too late.
It's nasty. I'm talking ugly, but
No,
sometimes
but these
you
things,
need to be, like something.
Tough love.
Someone said to me was, if I die, will I look after their family? And I said, if you die from alcohol and you like a ghost in the sky and you see me having sex with your wife, would you like that? No. Okay, then don't die. You know, don't let alcohol be the
die on
cause
purpose.
of your death.
Yeah. Because it's a form of suicide. Alcohol, the carrying on drinking.
Of course, it's numb. It's a numbing mechanism, you know.
Dale, I need to thank you for your vulnerability.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for being so vulnerable on this podcast, for saying
100%.
things that some people you've said have never even heard before.
Yes, yeah.
And we're going to have a second podcast because we can sit here for another hour.
100%.
Because there's so many things we can talk about. And people need to hear your message, even though you're only a year sober.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. People need to know how to get through the first year.
Yeah.
And right now, you're the person that can tell them.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
True.
I do remember my first year. I don't remember my first year.
Yeah.
It gets blurry.
Yeah.
Because life gets good and things get, and then the hard thing, you know, there's two things I always say. There's one promise from the man up there.
Yeah.
There's going to be bad times.
Yeah.
But there will be good times.
Yeah.
And then there are going to be bad times again.
Yeah.
But I promise you there will be fucking good times. So just stick it out.
Yeah, with every 2 bad times, you get 3 good times.
There we go.
You know,
I love that. I love that. On a lighter note, new Prime Circle. Who's the biggest troublemaker now in the band? Is it still Dale?
It's probably still me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't change. I'm sure they love that. This Dale that they've got.
Yeah. Look, I'm a bubbly person. I'm naturally. We're talking about ADHD. Like this, what you see is not normal. I'm normally.
You can see me also.
And I normally take a piece of paper and I'll fiddle with that paper. But I've learned to, without booze, I still eat a shitload of sweets. So the sugar is still going, you know. But that's my new addiction. But I'd rather just have that for now.
Sure.
I smoke a lot. I smoke more now that I stopped drinking. Ironically, people say they smoke more when they drink.
Yeah.
Cigarettes. But yeah, it's just because I'm craving something the whole time.
It's the way our brains are wired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Our brains are wired for something new every single time.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's challenge ourselves some other way.
Yeah.
We crave something new all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's why also I wanted to become a DJ. Is first and foremost, I love dance music. Like I'm a metalhead by trade, by nature. Yeah. And I think I've done so much metal in my life that doing dance is now just
maybe we see you in Ultra.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Playing on the Ultra stage with the big boys. That'll be amazing.
Well, I heard a little secret, and maybe I can tell, maybe I can't, but my favorite DJ is coming to SA.
Tell.
James Hype.
Okay,
from the
UK.
Okay. Amazing DJ. I only started DJing because of this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, because
he's
awesome. Multitasking. He's got 4 decks and pads, and he's creating his own songs live, you know, with different cues. And I'm going, I want to do that, you know.
Well, hopefully you get to meet him when he comes.
I would love to. Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Well, we have a little surprise for you. You've heard all the different talents.
Yeah.
He's not just Prime Circle's drummer. If Prime Circle need a guitarist, they're now going to hear they can rely on Dale.
Very bad guitar.
Dale's going to play us a little song. He's got a guitar next to him. A little 10-second, and that's going to be our exit. Once again, thank you, Dale, for your vulnerability. It was amazing having you on the podcast. We'd love to have you again on it. Maybe next time we invite Gavin with you.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I would love to hear his journey, and you both can talk about your journey.
Well, if Gavin starts talking, you can't say anything. You won't get time to talk.
Well, that's what I like. The less I speak on the podcast, the better. Guys, live on guitar and vocals. Please sing a little tune. I heard you got the voice too that not many people know. There he is. Dale from Prime Circle.
So this is a song, Answers by Prime Circle. So Ross and I used to sit a lot with acoustic guitar. And Ross is a phenomenal lyricist, phenomenal melodist, you know, all of that. And I still yet need to sit with Gavin, but I kind of lost a lot of passion for songwriting and music and getting screwed over with royalties. And so I haven't really, but this was, the chorus was, give me some answers, please. Give me a way to hit this call. Give me some answers, please. Cause I just can't take anymore. And that was kind of like the chorus of that song. And I can't see, you tie my hands, you tie my feet. The cracks upon the walls starting to bleed. And that's kind of like I'm not really a singer, I just write.
That sounds amazing.
But
you could have fooled me.
No, I don't like singing. But I just sing so that when I was producing or writing, I could show the guys, okay, this is sort of like the way the song should go, you know, and then take, you know, but that was how the original. Just beautiful.
Love it.
You know, like,
Fuck yes, Dale, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, bud.
Brother, anytime.